and you want to stand on your own. Is that it?" Dusty nodded his head. Sam gave a little grin. "When you feel you're grown enough to stand against Kiowa, you let me know." Kiowa was the biggest man in camp and the most dangerous. Kiowa was scared of only one man, and that man was Sam. Sam took another draw on the cigar. It was dark out beyond the fire, but Dusty could hear laughter. He had noticed that when men get some whiskey into themselves, they seemed to laugh louder and more raucously. He figured that was what was going on now. Sam said, "Dusty, a time is going to come when you're going to have to make a decision. To either ride among us as one of us, or to ride out." "I want to ride among you." Sam held up his hand to stop him. "You're too young to make that decision now. I know it raises your hackles a little to be told you're too young. It always did me. But it's the truth, and you're going to have to believe me and accept it. When the time comes, when you're ready to make that decision, if you choose to ride with us, I think you're going to be the best of us. I've trained you too well not to be. You ride better than any of us in camp, and you're real good with a gun, even though you're only 12. And you have a natural intelligence. You might even wind up leading these men one day. But if you choose to ride on, I want you to do it with a clean slate, with no price on your head, with your name not known to lawmen. If you choose to ride on, I want you to be able to build a life somewhere." That had been 3 years ago. Now, at 15, Dusty wore 2 guns Sam had given him, and Sam was now saying Dusty was the best he had ever seen with them. Dusty could do a border shift with his eyes closed. He could fire from the hip and hit a target 200 feet away nearly every time. And with a rifle, he could light a match at 500 feet. Sam said he had never seen a man who could shoot like that. Dusty's pistols were old Colt Dragoons that were scratched up and didn't match, but he didn't care. He wore an old cavalry gun belt with the flap cut away from the holster so he could grab the gun easily and quickly. The holster was also scratched up and weathered, but he didn't care. It was functional, which was all that mattered. The second gun he tucked into the front of the gun belt. He wore a buckskin shirt and old cavalry pants, but no hat. He wasn't one to live with a hat forever on his head, so his hat was often left with his bedroll. He liked the feel of the wind in his hair. Dusty was rounding the corner of the cabin when he found himself face to face with Kiowa. The big man grinned. A tooth was missing that Kiowa had removed himself. It had been rotten, so Kiowa took a couple belts of whiskey and then grabbed a pair of pliers and hauled out the tooth. Blood had spilled down his chin, but he didn't flinch once in pain. That had been a few years before. Kiowa said, "Well, well, here you are, and Sam ain't here to protect you." Dusty said, "I don't need Sam to protect me anymore. I ain't afraid of you anymore." "Oh, you ain't." A man was standing to one side, a man Dusty knew only as White Eye. He wore a black sombrero, and greasy hair fell to his shoulders. An old knife scar began at one cheekbone and traveled up and across his eye to his brow. The eye was a milky white. He said, "I'd be scared of him if I was you, boy. It'll make you scream like a little girl." Dusty snapped his right hand upward, and his gun was in his hand and aimed directly at Kiowa's face. Dusty had cocked the gun while it was in motion. "Go ahead, Kiowa," Dusty said. "Make me scream like a little girl." Kiowa said, "You fast enough to pull that trigger before I can grab that gun out of your hand?" Dusty grinned. "Try me." "You're playing with fire, boy," White Eye said. "You're betting your life that you're fast enough." "No,